Yo, Rihanna just got caught in the most uncomfortable backstage moment of the year, and it ain't even the part everybody's screaming about. Cameras rolled, the Sprinter doors closed, and what happened between her and A$AP Rocky behind that tinted glass got the whole internet asking if Bad Gala is finally done playing nice. Meanwhile, Tyler is standing 2 feet away looking like a lost puppy at her own idol's coronation. And A$AP really thought stepping out solo after that was a smart move? Bro picked the worst night to test her patience. Before we get into it, subscribe, don't miss it. Nah? Robin Rihanna Fenty, Bad Gal I herself, got caught on a viral backstage clip at the 2026 Met Gala on May 4th, where the camera quickly panned to water singer Tyla standing awkwardly in her presence with zero interaction, while a separate Sprinter van clip showed visible tension between Rihanna and Aubrey Drake's label mate A$AP Rocky. The footage hit Instagram and TikTok the same night and detonated by sunrise. Rocky really thought he could mingle with random women while his pregnant queen waited in the van. Bro doesn't think. Alright, let me hit you with the quotes first because the receipts on this one are stacked. In her Power 106 interview with Just Incredible back in 2023, Tyler literally said about Rihanna, "Coming from somewhere outside the States, I really looked up to her. I used to think you're not gonna make it. I just wanted to be her." When I heard this clip resurface last night, I was like, yo, this girl told the world Rihanna is her North Star, and Rihanna walked past her like she was a coat rack. Bro said what? That's the most public idol worship moment of 2023, and her hero ghosted her on the biggest night in fashion. In a separate sit-down, Tyler doubled down. "I would like to say Aaliyah and Rihanna. Yeah, I look up to Rihanna. She's done an amazing job, and I hope to one day be on that level and even bigger." When I read this, I had to do a double take. Is she serious about how much love she's shown? Because the reciprocation rate from Rihanna is sitting at exactly 0%. Then we got the fan reactions blowing up the comments. One viewer typed, "I really hope it's not true and that Rihanna spoke to Tyler. The way Tyler was just standing there like this is really her idol." Another one fired off, "Why Rihanna be doing Tyler like this? I'm starting to feel like Rihanna don't really F with Tyler." And the dagger, "At least Beyoncé sent her flowers on the release date of her album and she's a queen. So yeah, that's top tier." Nah, when fans are using Beyoncé as a standard of basic decency you should have shown. That's where Rihanna lost the plot for a lot of folks. Now, on the Rocky front, Page 6 and AOL both clocked the Sprinter clip. AOL reported, "Some thought the interaction seemed tense, while others believed Rihanna and A$AP Rocky looked tired after hours of being in front of cameras." When I peeped that footage 3 times, I was like, nah, that ain't tired. Tired don't make your jaw clench like that. And then this. Sources told Media Takeout from a previous incident. Sources say Rihanna approached Rocky from behind and briskly tapped him on the shoulder, making it clear that she was there. Rocky appeared visibly upset. Brew, that's a habit, not an accident. You can't say that and expect people to take Rocky's loyal man image seriously anymore. On the Kim K front, blind item account Crazy Days and Nights dropped this gem. The A-list actress and the A-list singer were allowed to bring their underage kids to the big ball. The 8-to-8 reality star was told no again. And Rob Shutter's #ShutterScoop confirmed it bluntly. Despite Kim Kardashian's behind-the-scenes push, 11-year-old Northwest was officially denied entry to the 2025 Met Gala. Anna Wintour refused to make exception. When I read that refused to make exception part, phew, Anna ain't even pretending no more. And on Blue Ivy, Page 6 reported Jay-Z literally walked over and seemingly pleaded with her to remove her sunglasses. In style caught Blue's ice-cold response. Casually defiant, the teen gestured to the steps, seeming to indicate that her plan was to take them off once she reached the top. 14 years old telling her of, "I'ma take him off when I'm good and ready." That's the most boss energy moment of the night and nobody's talking about it right. Now that we got the quotes, let's connect the dots. Here's where it gets nasty, because the timing on all this is what tells the real story. That backstage clip, it dropped 48 hours after Tyler's team had been teasing her potential Met look on TikTok. The interview resurfaced the same day as the awkward pan. The internet didn't just stumble into this comparison. The algorithm served it because the proximity was undeniable. Rihanna's people had to know Tyler was in that backstage area. The Met's backstage is not Madison Square Garden. It's a hallway with a velvet rope. So BuzzFeed, Celebrity, and other outlets picking up the snub angle within hours wasn't random. The math was already mathing. Now peep the industry chess move underneath it. Tyler broke globally in 2023 with Water. Guess who hasn't released a studio album since 2016's Auntie? Exactly. The label machine has been quietly hunting for the next Caribbean-coded global pop princess since Riri pivoted to Fenty Beauty, Savage X, and motherhood. That gap is wide. And South African Tyla, with the accent, the dance, the visuals, she's the closest fit the industry has produced in nearly a decade. Anna Wintour herself sat Tyla front row at Fashion Week last year. That's not a coincidence. That's a coronation in slow motion. So Riri walking past her wasn't shade by accident. That was a business signal. I'm not retiring my crown, lil sis. Don't get comfortable. Any smart handler would have staged a hug for the cameras. Rihanna's team chose silence, and silence at that level is a strategy, not an oversight. The Rocky situation has its own timeline rut. Remember that side-eye she gave him while he was chatting with that white model on Valentine's Day? Page after page on Instagram Reels preserved the footage. The Sprinter clip didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened after months of these little moments stacking up. So Rocky did this right after a year of innocent mingling caught on camera. That's terrible reading the room. Brew. Then he allegedly bounces to a YSL after-party solo while Rihanna heads back to the hotel alone. Any man with real advisors would have canceled that after-party in a heartbeat. But Rocky isn't getting smart counsel. He's getting yes men. And that Kim K denial? Anna's been running this play for over a decade. Radar Online reported back in 2014 that Wintour forbid Kardashian from attending the Met Ball. The Kim freeze out at Victoria Beckham's show wasn't a one-off either. 9 News documented the entire pattern of Wintour repositioning herself away from Kim at multiple events. So when Anna allowed Beyoncé and Nicole Kidman to bring teenage daughters but blocked North, that ain't a rule, that's a hierarchy being enforced. Beyoncé and Nicole were co-chairs. Co-chairs get plus ones. Reality stars get doors slammed. Kim really thought 12 years of grinding would buy her exception status. Wintour clearly doesn't have advisors telling her to soften the optics, and frankly, she doesn't care. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Now check this out. Nobody's talking about the body language forensics. Look at the Mill Isaac and Riri's eyes flick to Tyler in that pan. It wasn't a didn't see her glance. It was a deliberate register and redirect, the kind of micro-expression a person makes when they clocked you and chose violence by ignoring. The cameraman didn't pan back to Tyler after. That cut with protective editing. If they'd held that frame 3 more seconds, it would have been irreversible. And Riri really thought nobody would catch that flick? That's embarrassing for her PR team. The visual evidence is frozen in 4K. Now zoom into the Sprinter footage. Rocky's hand. Watch where it sits. It's not on Rihanna. It's not gesturing. It's flat on his own thigh, fingers spread. That's the body language of someone bracing through a conversation, not loving through it. And Rihanna's chin? Tilted down, eyes UP. That's a universal explain-yourself stance in every relationship on Earth. If Rocky had half a brain, he would have noticed his own posture giving the game away before the clip went viral. But he didn't. He never does. Then there's the wardrobe forensic on Blue Ivy. Those shades weren't a random choice. Beyoncé's stylist plan that fit down to the millimeter. The sunglasses being non-negotiable for Blue tells me something. That 14-year-old a contractual veto power over her own look. Jay-Z walking up wasn't a parental moment. It was a PR concern. Harv knows the optics of a teen wearing shades at a photograph-to-death event reads as rude. Blue's response, gesturing to the stairs like, I got it, Dad. That was a kid who's been in this game her entire life telling her father she understands the optics better than he does. The slow walk up after she removed them on cue? Masterclass. And People magazine caught the full debut moment for the record. One more layer on Anna. The fact that she blocked North but greenlit Beyoncé's daughter and Nicole Kidman's daughter isn't just snobbery, it's a category enforcement. Anna views the Met as the Oscars of fashion. Reality TV in her mental hierarchy is the Razzies. So letting North in would be admitting that reality TV nobility has equal weight to Hollywood and music nobility. That's a philosophical line for her, not a logistical one. And Kim's team really didn't catch this after 10 plus years of getting iced? That's a problem with the Kardashian inner circle. They read everything as personal when it's actually structural. Now let's see how the media covered this. AOL framed the Sprinter situation as feud rumors, with a heavy lean toward the "they're just tired" defense. That's the soft launch interpretation, protective of the couple's brand. But remember the body language we forensically broke down? That's not what tired looks like. MSN went harder, framing it as tension between two longtime partners under public scrutiny, basically validating the argument theory without saying fight. That's the journalist tightrope. They want clicks but don't want a defamation letter. Cosmopolitan UK catalogued Tyla's whole Met carpet as one of the most awkward moments of the year, without even mentioning the Rihanna pan, which is wild because that's the loudest part of her night. On the Kim front, The Guardian framed the whole Kardashian Met situation as a culture shift, basically academic speak for Anna's done with the reality TV crew. That's a smart take spin. Cosmopolitan framed it as a ban-adjacent situation. Two different vocabulary moves describing the same phone call. No, your kid can't come. Now some Rocky fans are saying the Sprinter clip is capped, that it's edited, that it's a normal car ride. Those are the same people who thought the Valentine's Day flirt clip was just being friendly. Some Anna defenders are saying the rule is the rule, age 18 plus. But the rule conveniently bent for the co-chair's daughter? Get out of here. The receipts don't lie. If you still think Win2 is operating on neutral rules after watching her shift seat away from Kim at the Victoria Beckham show, you're just biased. But here's what nobody is saying. The mainstream narrative on this whole night is Rihanna was tired, Rocky was just mingling, Anna was just enforcing rules, and Blue is just being a teen. That's the safe story. That's the story that protects the advertisers and the brand deals. Here's what they won't tell you. The 2026 Met Gala wasn't a fashion event. It was a power reorganization ceremony. And every awkward moment we just dissected was a piece of the same chessboard. Angle, industry politics. Anna Wintour is conducting a quiet purge. She's deciding, in real time, which version of celebrity gets to define the next decade. Reality TV royalty? Out. Music royalties offspring? In. Oh God, pop divas who haven't dropped an album in 9 years? Tolerated, but not coronated. New global pop princess from outside the US who fits the streaming era? Front row. That's why Tyla was backstage in Rihanna's airspace. Anna's team seated her there. That's not a coincidence. That's a transition of power stayed for the cameras. And Rihanna peeped it. She didn't snub Tyla because she dislikes her. She snubbed her because acknowledging her in that moment would have felt like a handoff. Riri's not handing the crown to anybody, especially not on Win2's stage. Rihanna is a puppet master who refused to dance to Anna's choreography. The industry needed a hug photo. They wanted the passing of the torch content. Rihanna said NAH. That's not pettiness. That's chess. And anybody calling it shade is missing the bigger play. Now, Rocky, here's the loose cannon in this whole equation. Riri's playing 4D chess at the highest level of the industry, and her man is in the corner mingling with random models. Rocky is playing checkers while Rihanna is playing chess. Every move he makes is making her job harder. The Sprinter argument. That wasn't about a specific incident. That was Riri telling him you're embarrassing our brand on the biggest night of the year. If Rocky had real advisors, they would have sat him down before the carpet and said, stay glued to her side. Smile, leave. But he doesn't have those advisors, so he keeps giving the media free ammo. Rocky's whole image as a devoted dad and loyal partner is manufactured, and is falling apart in real time on viral clips. Now Anna and Kim. This isn't about North's age. This is about Win2 cementing the cultural hierarchy on her way out. The whisper through the industry is that Anna's stepping back from day-to-day Vogue operations. Her last big play is to lock in who's in the canon before she goes. Kim Kardashian, not in the canon. Beyoncé's daughter, in the canon. Nicole Kidman's daughter, in the canon. Tyla, being placed in the canon. That's the real story. Kim is rewriting her own history, trying to stay relevant in a fashion world that never fully accepted her, and Anna is using her exit to make that rejection permanent. That's brutal. And Kim's whole "I built $1 billion empire" pitch isn't impressive enough for Anna because Anna doesn't care about money. She cares about taste hierarchies. Kim represents the old reality TV god that the culture is done with at the highest level. And Blue Ivy with the shades? That was a generational flex of the night. Beyoncé didn't even tell her to remove them. Why? Because Bey understands that in 2026, Gen Z and Gen Alpha don't bend to old-fashioned rules. They negotiate. Blue, gesturing to the stairs, was a new generation telling the old guard, I'll comply on MY terms when MY moment hits. That's a culture shift in a 14-year-old's wrist movement. The Carters are training the next Anna Wintour right in front of us, and we're too busy laughing at the relatable teen moment framing to see it. And that's the truth they won't tell you. So what happens next? Here's what's most likely to happen in the next 30 days. Rihanna's team will release ONE strategically lit photo or short clip of her with Tyla, either at a fashion event or in a casual Instagram moment. It'll be deliberately warm, deliberately public, and deliberately on Rihanna's terms, not Anna's. That single photo will reset the narrative and starve the Rihanna hates Tyler angle of oxygen. When that drops, the fan dragging Riri are gonna look desperate for ever doubting her. Tyla will play her part perfectly because she's a smart kid. The industry's torch-passing moment, permanently delayed. Riri keeps the throne for another full cycle. Now, if Riri stays silent instead, which she very well might because that's a brand, the Rocky situation is the one that detonates first. Watch what happens. Within 60 days, another ASAP court talking to a woman clip is gonna leak. It's already inevitable based on the pattern. When that drops, Rocky is not ready for the level of public dragging is gonna catch because a sprinter clip already preloaded the audience. Rocky will try to do an interview to clean it up. That interview will make it worse because Rocky can't help himself in front of a MIC, mark my words. Rihanna comes out looking like the long-suffering queen, and Rocky comes out looking like the dude who fumbled a bag of the century. Rocky doesn't stand a chance in the court of public opinion right now. Looking at the bigger picture, here's where this whole night will land in 5 years. The 2026 Met Gala will be remembered as a moment Anna Wintour's iron grip on celebrity hierarchy started cracking in public view. When Anna officially steps back from Vogue, the industry will realize she overplayed her hand on the Kim K snub, the underage rule selective enforcement, and the Tyler coronation staging. Kim will eventually get her Met moment, but only after Anna's gone. The Kardashian L tonight is gonna look like Anna's last petty act, not a culture shift. 5 years from now, people will look back at this Met as a moment Wintour lost the room. Blue Ivy will be 19 by then, fully co-chairing or hosting events of her own, and the Shades moment will be remembered as the first crack in the old order. Whatever happens, one thing's clear, Rocky already lost. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering the real story, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss when we expose what everyone else is too scared to say.